December 11th, and I'm a creature from the vlog, and creatures from the vlog have a lot to cover. Fuck! And for the first time in a really long time, I've been super busy. Well, I'm not really going to touch on everybody's videos, but everybody, good luck on finals and stuff. I do have the drinking game that Kirstani has the rules passing around. I figured that it would just be more convenient to give Frankie those instructions when we see her. I'm really excited to see you all on Pokemon Christmas. If any of you are home before Pokemon Christmas, I would love to see you before that. Because since I'm so scatterbrained and since I'm so long-winded, I actually made notes about what I did this week, so that way I could, like, be competent at this. Okay, so starting last Sunday, I went to Adams, we finished Panty and Stocking, and we also watched Russian traffic videos on YouTube, which, if you have free time, you should do that. So Monday, I did absolutely nothing at all. On Tuesday, I woke up early, and Amanda and I went to the mall because we needed to do a little bit of Christmas shopping. So after going to the mall and going to the city, right as I'm walking up to John Jay, I run into this girl who I've always had kind of a crush on in my classes, and we like had this nice little conversation, and I like we're talking psychology and talking about like what we've been doing since we've last seen each other, and she like genuinely seemed really excited to run into me, and I bitched out again for asking her number because I'm a fucking pussy. Then, as I went into John Jay, I tried to just scan my card, but I guess it was like deactivated, which makes sense. So I go up to the security desk, and the guy tells me that he then has to take and dispose of my ID, my alumni card, so I'm glad to finally have that done. Then I met up with Desiree, and we waited by Columbus Circle for Marisol to get there, and Marisol joined us, and we went to around Astor Place, which is by NYU, and we went to Max Little Burgers, which they specialize in burger sliders, and it is fucking delicious. Those are some great ass burgers, super greasy. As soon as I take my first bite, I immediately have all this grease go all over me, but it was worth it because it was really, really good. And then after that, we went to Palm Frite, which is a lot like Fresh Treat, but better because it's in the city and I guess therefore more authentic. And that was really delicious, but they still have the same like sauces and stuff, so I now have a few rosemary garlic sauces in my refrigerator that I'm really excited about. And then after that, we were having this whole conversation about how by this one video game store called 8-Bit and Up, and I really wanted to go in there, and the girls could tell I really wanted to go in there, but then we didn't. So then after walking by that place, then we saw a nice little comic book shop, and I guess the girls like felt bad that they had denied me the video game shop. So I went in there and we had a nice little conversation, and like the lady, I got a comic book for Adam, and I also got a comic book for myself. I'm getting the first 17 Titans for Christmas, so I decided to get myself number 0, so that way I can have 0 through 7 rather than 1 through 7. And we went to Macy's to meet up with Marisol's friend, and we kind of just hung out for a little bit at Penn Station before Desiree had to catch her train and I had to catch mine. So Wednesday, this whole big fiasco happens with Finnegan, where he needed to go get a checkup so that way he could get his prescription food, but then he wouldn't pee when he was there, so then he needed to use a special litter that I had to use a billion times when Clover was having her issues. And like we were considering if we needed to, he hadn't peed for 27 hours, so then we were wondering if we needed to bring him to the vet to get checked up, and then they said that we did, and then we had this whole big fiasco catching him, and then my dad was being a complete douchebag the entire time, and when he finally catches Finnegan, Finnegan pisses all over him. So then we get piss everywhere, and then he pisses in the crate that he's in, and then I have to bring him in the car, and then we call up the vet, and the vet's like, oh, well, if he peed, then don't bring him. So then there was a little bit of cat piss in the car because the crate was leaking, and then Finnegan was soaked in piss because he was sitting in his own pee. So then we had to wash Finnegan, who's already ill-tempered, so that was a fiasco. Then we needed to dry. It was just a fucking mess. It was a complete fucking fiasco. I literally wanted to shoot a bullet through my brain. It was so bad. But after that, I picked up Melissa from work, and then we went down to Surf Taco in Jackson, which was delicious, but I did spend too much money there. I spent like $22 on food, but that's because I got a burrito, a quesadilla, a chips and cheese, and a taco. Because I mean, if it's Surf Taco, you have to try a taco, right? That would be ridiculous if you didn't. So I spent way too much cash. And then after that, we went to the comic book shop in Howell. I now finished I got the comics that I was missing for Deathstroke, so I'm really happy about that. And then I also picked up more Birds of Prey, which I was really hoping to get more of. And then I found out that I'm missing some Ravager comics, but they didn't have them, and I'm just upset that I'm not current on that one, because I feel like it updates less often, and I'm like kind of invested in it, so that sucks. Thursday, I found out that my proposal that I wrote a while ago got accepted, and then my my advisor, so she said that she finally got to talking to somebody about getting participants for the study that I was supposed to be doing fucking during the summer, so that's finally gonna start moving soon, but not because it's finals, so she's really busy, and what the fuck is the point? So that eventually will be moving, and then she said she was going to be sending a study material, and then I was like, is it the study material that I already have from a billion years ago? Can you remind me which one of these I'm supposed to be reading? What the fuck? She didn't tell me what things I needed to read, and then I told her about the proposal getting accepted, and then she was like, oh, well, you're going to go to the conference, right? I look up where the conference is. It's in Oregon. It's in Portland. What the fuck? No, I can't go to Portland. Are you kidding me? And then she was like, well, look up cheap flights and I'll see if I can get you a cheap room for like undergraduates. And I was like, I can barely afford to go to Boston in March for the convention that I already paid for. I just cashed in my last 2 bank bonds. I have $140 that I'm allowed to touch. Period. I have no more cash after that. That's it. Whatever money I get from Christmas, sure, but that's not really going to be that much. I'm screwed. Friday, my sister, after this whole Finnegan fiasco, has been totally ridiculous. She wants to move back in the house because she's having drama at her house that she's staying at. But she wants to move into the basement. She wants to put bedrock walls up where my mom's ironing board is and make that into a room because she thinks it's going to be quieter and she's going to be able to focus more and she's going to be more isolated, which she needs because she has a stay-at-home job mostly. And my parents are more and more learning that it's really not going to be a good idea. After my mom was like, no, I don't, you have your room, you can stay there, that's fine. And she goes, if you won't let me move into the basement, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have anywhere else to go. Not even considering the fact that she has a room that, nobody has touched since she left. So, that's cool. Saturday, I downloaded a game called Don't Starve. It's a really interesting indie game where you try to not starve, and then it's, kind of in this, weird Tim Burton-esque art style, and it's, kind of interesting and dark. And it's run through Chrome, interestingly enough, but you can also get it on Steam as well. And I have a code for it on Steam and a code for it on Chrome that I haven't used yet. So if anybody's interested, I'd be more than willing to share those. Well, like I said, it's just a cartoony style, so it's not anything more complicated than you would see on any Flash video game, but my computer can't handle it. If I play it for any period of time, my screen shuts down and then turns up, and then it won't work, and then great. So I wasted $13 when I don't fucking have money on a video game I actually can't even play. And then Adam let me borrow this one game, Demon's Souls, on the PS3, which I've heard a lot of people talking about, and the main thing that people talk about is how difficult it is, and I don't find that an interesting aspect in video games. I don't want a video game to hand-feed me my winnings, but when you make a game impossible, if there's already issues with the character creation process and how you level up and a bunch of other problems, I don't understand what the appeal of that is. And I said to Adam, I was like, what's the point? What's the point of Like, is it just like an edict contest, so that way you can say like, oh well, like I beat this really hard game this one time. Yeah, like it's not fun. I'm not enjoying myself. I beat the first boss. Yeah, I'm not sure how much longer I'm gonna play that game because I'm not really enjoying it much. On Sunday, I was kind of pissed off because I got invited to go over to Nelson's house, which really doesn't happen that often. But I don't really know how to get to Nelson's house, and it's in Plainfield, and when everybody already has cars already, I don't really see the point of all of us going and leaving our nice cars in a shitty area of Plainfield, because he does actually live in a bad area. So, I already don't know how to get there, and like, I fucking drove them all over Creation when we were in high school. So I said to them, hey, like, you guys aren't that far, so would you mind maybe just coming pick me up really quick? Would that be a problem? And then we're like, no, we're not doing that. Oh, but like, Skeet's coming soon, so maybe he can pick you up. So then I text Skeet, and he was like, oh, I'm drunk right now. I'm getting dropped off myself. Do you want to come and pick me up, so that way when we all leave, you can drive? And I was just like, no, I'm not going to do that. If you really don't have a designated driver, I guess I'm going to, because I'm not going to let my friends drive drunk. But, like, the whole thing was that I really didn't want to drive over there, because I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing, so you're a douchebag. And that really irritated me, because, like I said, I really did drive them a lot of places, so it really would have just been nice that, let's take 10 minutes to go pick Billy up. And then when we all leave, we're all leaving and going to South Plainfield anyway, so who cares? But apparently that's not how that works. But instead, I played games with my internet friends. There's this one Flash game that's an internet board game that I really enjoy playing that we played. And then we played an online version of Cards Against Humanity that was really fun. And we did a Skype call, so we were all talking and laughing and stuff. It was great. On Monday, my cousin Denise visited, and she's a little bit older than I am. She's like in her mid-30s, and she also has a Call Me Maybe ringtone. And we went to go to Jose Tejas to eat, so that was really exciting. And then we all went over to Adam's house, and we played the B-Movie card game. And we were all just hanging out, and we also played this game called Things that I really enjoy. That it's kind of like apples to apples, but a little bit different. I won't go into that. The highlight of the night was the last Sunday that I mentioned that we all hung out. I hung out and we watched Painting and Stalking. I bent over at one point and Nikki slapped my ass really, really hard. And I've mentioned before that like ass slapping is like really common with that friend group, and that like usually I'm the worst. But I've really been slacking lately. So when she bent over to hug Jay, I slapped her ass really, really hard, and everybody was dying laughing because it was like so loud. And then she said, "Who did that?" And then I just like pointed at Adam, and I was like, "Adam did it, Adam did it." And she fucking believed me, and I was like cracking up laughing. I couldn't make eye contact with her. I was like looking at Amanda, and she completely believed me. And so that was hilarious. Today, which is why I'm posting this so late, I went shopping for Amanda with Melissa and Jay. So the three of us hung out for a while, which I've never really hung out with Jay with not Amanda there, so that was pretty interesting. We all were going Christmas shopping for her. I just needed to pick up like a few extra stuffs, but they needed to get like main things. So we all just figured we would help each other out because we want to make sure Amanda gets good presents, so why not? We went to Red Robin to eat lunch, and that was pretty delicious. Then we had pizza, and then we picked up Amanda, and we all went to get frozen yogurt, which was okay. I'm not crazy about frozen yogurt. And we all sat around and watched 1,000 Ways to Die, which is hilarious. Then Amanda and I played Streets of Rage, and then we all were talking about Spirit Pokemon, which I was talking about in the Facebook event. We have decided on my 5 Spirit Pokemon, 1 for each generation of Pokemon. My first generation Spirit Pokemon is Poliwrath, since he's angry and slaps people. My second generation Pokemon is Slowking, because he's fucking cool and I like him a lot. And he's a water type and he's wise. The third generation Pokemon is Slaking, who sleeps a lot, but does so he can hit people really hard. The fourth generation is a Rotom, because I'm always on the internet all the time, so we figured a nice little electric type would be cool. And then obviously my fifth generation is that jellyfish with a mustache, Jellicent. So this video is already way too long. I can't wait to see you all. Bye.